हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू शॉर्ट हैंड सुपर फास्ट राइटर्स। दोस्तों, आप चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन को दबाएं डेली शॉर्ट हैंड डिक्टेशंस के लिए। आज की जो डिक्टेशन है वो है ट्रांसक्रिप्शन नंबर 160, वॉल्यूम नंबर 8, एसएससी स्टेनोग्राफर ग्रेड सी के लिए। सो बी रेडी। 10 seconds, 5 seconds, start. I crave the indulgence of the House for making this statement on the opening day of the Parliament, as I wish to take honourable members into confidence at the earliest opportunity about the extremely difficult foreign exchange position in which we find ourselves at present. Our foreign exchange reserves have declined more or less steadily during the current fiscal year. Some decline during the months of April September, when export receipts are usually low, is a normal feature of our balance of payments. The decline in reserves during April September 2004, however, was almost twice as large as in the same period of 2003. The decline in reserves has continued during the past 4 or 5 months, when we should normally be gaining reserves in order to meet the requirements of the coming lean season for exports. On February 12, 2005, the foreign assets of the Reserve Bank stood at about rupees 7,000 crores. As honorable members are aware, the Reserve Bank is required to hold a minimum rupees 8,000 crores of reserve in the form of gold and foreign securities. The Reserve Bank has been able, in fact, to abide by this requirement for some time only on the basis of a transfer to the Bank of Gold which the government had acquired over the years. The recent decline in reserves is the result of a variety of factors. In view of shortages of food grains in the country and the pressure on prices, we have had to provide for large imports of food and fertilizers against free foreign exchange. Payments on account of defense imports have also been increasing, and we have had to provide for larger repayment obligations in respect of the growing volume of our indebtedness abroad. While exports have been rising, the increase this year had not been as large as in 2003-4, and it has also not been reflected fully in the receipt of foreign exchange. A part of the increase in exports has been to countries with whom settlements in trade and payments are made in rupees. There is reason to believe that export earnings have been lower because of higher interest rates elsewhere. A part of the decline in reserves may therefore be short term in character and may be expected to reverse itself. First and foremost, we have to reduce inflationary pressures in the economy. The strictest fiscal and monetary discipline has to be observed in the interest of both of stability of prices and of improvement in the payments position. The budget of the central government for the year 2005-6 will be announced 10 days from now, and I do not wish to say anything about this at this stage, but it is clear that the financial operations of the central and the state governments, as well as those of public and private sector enterprises, will necessarily have to be guided by the overriding consideration of avoiding inflation. I have taken this up with the state governments, and I have no doubt that in the present grave situation I can count on their wholehearted cooperation. On the monetary side, several measures have been taken during the past year to bring about an orderly increase in the interest rates and to slow down the pace of monetary expansion. The Reserve Bank has just announced further measures to this end. The bank rate has been increased from 5% to 6%. Coupled with this, the terms governing the rates at which scheduled banks are eligible to borrow from the Reserve Bank have been made stiffer. Banks will be able to borrow at the bank rate only when their net liquidity ratio comes to 30% or more, as against 28% at present. The borrowing rate of the individual scheduled bank will increase by half percent for every 1% decline in its liquidity ratio below 30%. The Reserve Bank has also taken steps to make appropriate changes in other interest rates in the economy. Thus, banks have been asked to raise the interest rates on their term deposits as well as savings bank deposits. The ceiling limit to the lending rates of banks has been raised from 10% to 15%. The Reserve Bank lending rate to cooperative banks would also now be higher by 1%. Appropriate changes in other interest rates, including those paid and charged by government and other financial institutions, are also being made. These measures should limit the expansion of bank credit and bring about an appreciable reduction in inflationary pressures in general by encouraging a greater flow of savings and a greater sense of economy in the use of scarce capital resources. The Reserve Bank will watch carefully the expansion of credit and money supply in the economy in the light of the genuine requirements of the growing production. Mr. Deputy Chairman, after all labor legislations in all countries have to be gradually evolved, and what is good in one country cannot be wholesale copied in another country because it is to have reference to the economic conditions and also to the employment or unemployment factor in that country. Countries gradually develop industries and other social conditions, but short of a revolution, it is not possible to put into practice all the things of which we approve in principle. We have come to a very much higher stage as far as the interests of the workers are concerned during the last 15 years, and although we would like to see that even in the agricultural field minimum wages are guaranteed, such states which tried to bring in minimum wages legislation as long ago as about 6 years back found it impossible to put it into practice, as has been already referred to by another honorable member, due to the reasons of expense of implementation and the existing conditions. Supposing I would ask the members on the other side, we were to make rules about minimum wages with regard to domestic servants, what would happen? All that would happen is that people would stop engaging servants because they are unable to pay them, and the result would be that there would be more unemployment. So thanks for watching. Do like, subscribe and share to your friends.